Here's how to add an intervention meeting in Aeries. For a student that has been referred for a TSS, a SART, or SARB meeting, you can use Aeries to record the meeting. The intervention page is used for both entering interventions and for entering an intervention meeting, such as a TSS or SARB meeting. Link the intervention page to the intervention referral and begin entering information for the meeting. You can either enter information before the meeting or during the meeting. Do it whichever way is most appropriate. Entering information, or at least some of the information, before a meeting can save you time. Normally, the date and the grade will automatically be entered. You need to make sure that the date is the day the intervention meeting is actually occurring. Change is needed. Next, enter an intervention code. Select the name of the intervention meeting. Names listed here in the intervention list are a TSS, Student Attendance Review Team, Student Attendance Review Board, Retention Recommendation, Wraparound, or Referral to Rayford Johnson. Next, enter the meeting location. You have to type this in. In the disposition box, enter in process or in progress. We want to start with this in the box and then change it over once the meeting is completed. Next, enter a category. Select the type of meeting you are having, either a TSS, SART, SARB, or wraparound. If you are having a meeting for retention or referral to Rayford Johnson, use TSS as your category. Next, enter the level of the meeting based on your meeting category. Do not enter a start or end date unless the meeting is occurring over multiple days, which generally is unusual. Instead, enter the time the meeting starts. You can then return when the meeting ends and put the end time. For provider, enter not applicable. For placement, enter school. This can be changed to an alternate placement if you are having a TSS to place someone at Rayford Johnson or a community school. But this should only be done if you're having a meeting that has the supervisor of those programs present, and that is the decision of the team. Next, enter a reason. The reason is the primary reason for holding the intervention meeting. A student may have multiple concerns, but enter the primary one here. If the student needs translation services, make sure the box is checked and that the language of translation is indicated. The school and the person referring should automatically be entered from the referral for intervention. If you have not linked the referral for intervention, enter the needed information. Leave the status as not applicable. Next, you can enter comments. These are details brought forth in the meeting similar to a notes section. This can be used during the meeting to take notes and record information. This is a great place to record present levels of functioning or assessment scores. Next, click Save. Now you can enter some additional information if it is pertinent to your intervention meeting. Stakeholders is the place to enter the people present at the meeting. Simply click Add New Record. Enter the name of the individual, their relationship to the student, and the account type they have. You can then link the person's account in Aeries to the intervention meeting. Add as many as you need to. Don't forget to click the floppy disk icon in order to save your entry. Next is the Goals tab. You can add any specific goals for the student related to the intervention. Simply click Add New Record. Enter a category in the first drop-down box. Then describe the goal. Add a target date for meeting the goal, and click the floppy disk save icon. If you start entering something but want to remove it, simply hit the circular arrow button. You can enter any comments in the comment box. You can then add specific actions for the goal. These actions must be assigned to a stakeholder present at the meeting. You can see that the stakeholders you have entered already list here in the drop-down box. If they are not present or a person is not at the meeting, go back and add them as a stakeholder anyway so that you can assign an action to them. You can add as many actions as you like. Next is progress comments. Progress comments is a place to add notes regarding progress, but this is done generally after a meeting has been concluded and some progress has been made over time. You can select a code and enter any comments, simply by adding new record. Be careful with your words as parents and staff can see your comments. Do not enter confidential information here. These should be general comments about progress only. You do not have to enter progress comments. In the meetings section, you can enter and schedule any follow-up meetings, including the start time, the end time, the location, and the next meeting date. You can add comments and also list who should be at the meeting. Next, go to prior interventions. If your intervention is linked to an intervention referral, the prior interventions listed in the referral will show up here. If you are not linked to a referral, or you want to add prior interventions, simply click Add New Prior Intervention and enter. Next is reasons and concerns. Again, if you are linked, the reasons and concerns from the referral will show up here. Otherwise, you can enter your own. You can also add any concerns from the parent or guardian or any person who is at the meeting here. The same is true for the next tab, Strengths. In the Additional Resources tab, you can note any other resources the student is currently receiving. Simply select an additional resource and enter a comment about it. Do not use the Practices tab. The last tab is Documents. Here you can upload consents, contracts with the student or a parent, or other related documents you wish to maintain. Simply upload the document file. When you upload a document, it should preferably be a PDF. You can also lock the document. A locked document can only be modified or deleted by the person who entered it. Next, return to intervention details. Once you have entered all your information from the meeting, you can print an intervention plan with places for the parent and other people in attendance to sign. Before you do that, hit Change and make sure you update the disposition. Since you've developed an intervention plan, most likely, change it to Intervention Plan Developed. Or if the parent has declined to have intervention, put Intervention Declined by Parent. Go ahead and save. Next, click Plan at the bottom. You can then download or view a report and then print out the report and have all parties at the meeting sign. This is generally what a report will look like. The report will have your information at the top. Any comments will be located here. The reasons and concerns will be located here, as well as any goals here. Stakeholders can then sign the report here. Now, here is the coolest feature. Let's say I am having a follow-up meeting regarding a student. You do not have to make an entirely new plan. Simply go to the bottom of the intervention meeting and select Copy. Notice there are several boxes over on the right. You can indicate which ones of the sections and the details you wish to copy to another student or to the same student. Then simply find the student, select them, and hit Copy. This will create an entirely copied set of an intervention meeting.